off.
Am I supposed to hear?
Dude, that might not be his career high in points, but that is his career high in the win.
It was unbelievable. I don't. What is your career high in points? Like 45?
45. It was against us, and they lost that game.
Wow, that is unbelievable. We just started. We're doing a podcast, episode 23. Just started on Locker Room. You like this app?
Yeah, I love this app, dude.
It's awesome. You know, I got to talk. Who did I get to talk to? Let me check. I get to talk to Stefan Bondi in one of these.
I did too. On the Locker Room thing.
It was great. It was so much fun. Let's see. I'm gonna invite all of you to speak if you wanna get your say in. What did you think tonight about Trae Young and his foul calls and these referees too?
Oh my, dude! I was like, dude, I kept tweeting about that shit. It was so annoying, dude.
It was unbelievable. I tweeted about it all night.
Do you personally enjoy watching Trae Young play?
No, I hate it.
Same, dude.
Him and James Harden, I hate it.
The thing was hard. I actually enjoy him, but Trae Young, this guy does not even look to score. All he does, foul, and he doesn't even try on defense either. So it's like,
nah, he's just jumping into people. It's ridiculous. I don't know what we're supposed to do against that.
Well, thankfully we don't have to. I don't have to watch the Hawks again until we play them again, whichever it is later time in the season.
Yeah, how many more games? Like we have. I know we played them twice, but they're East. So what is it? 4? 4 games?
It's either one more time or 2 more times, and I'm hoping it's just one more time.
Something like that. I don't know. It's ridiculous with the foul calls. And that foul call, you know what, the one that pissed me off the most? There's 2. That one on Trae Young when he jumped into Taj Gibson. That one got me heated. And then the other one when Gallinari got that shooting foul with Noel, his 5th one. Those 2.
With the one in the second half where Trae Young, jumped and then Rose got the foul, but it looked like he didn't even touch him at all. So I'm like, was that even a foul?
These refs are ridiculous. I've been on Twitter all night. I've been looking through this one ref. I looked up her name. Lauren Holtkamp, number 7 referee. It's her 5th season. She officiated the Miami game this year when Bam Adebayo got 16 free throws and Jimmy Butler got 15 free throws, and we as a team got 16 free throws.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And she ref that game too. She's refed all the trashy games this year. So, I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going on with these referees.
I feel like the NBA trying to hold us down.
Yeah, but we won. We're the 6th seed now. Unbelievable.
Wait, how far are we behind whoever the 5th seed is?
Probably not far. I know the Nets are somewhere around 16 and 13, and they're like the 3rd seed. So, I don't know. Yeah, the Nets are 16 and 12.
And if you see, we only have 2 less wins than the Sixers, and it's 2 seed.
Yeah, it's really close fight in the Eastern Conference right now. I know we're almost tied with the Pacers. They're 14 and 14.
And they just lost too.
Oh, they just lost?
Yeah, the Bulls beat them.
Ah, okay. So they got a postponement game. So whenever they make that up, that decides whether or not, because we haven't had to make up any games. So it depends on all these teams. I know the Celtics are 13 and 13, but they haven't played nearly as many games as us. They played what? They played 3 less games than us. So whenever they win or lose those games, that'll decide. But right now we're confidently the 6th seed. I don't know if the Hornets play tonight, but us knocking down the Hawks helped a lot too. They were the 10th seed. So now they're not even in the play-in.
You know what pissed me off, dude? I think we should be at least 1 of the 2 of the Miami Heat games, and we have been so much of a better spot right now.
Yeah, that Miami Heat game, that second one, Sandy Cheeks, what's going on? Oh, I see you on mute, but that's okay. Whenever you want to talk, all good. Anyway, unbelievable game tonight. Julius Randle was crazy. He was pretty much the sole man. I know R.J. Barrett had a good game with that 21 points. But other than that, I mean, we got Emmanuel quickly coming out with 16, I think it was. He had 16 points. D. Rose had he had some blocks, 2 blocks off the bench. Obi Toppin. What do you think about Obi Toppin? He got 11 minutes tonight. And I know he had a fine game. Julius Randle deserved to play all the minutes, but Obi Toppin been getting 11 to 15 minutes every game. Do you think he should get more minutes?
Well, if he wants to get better, he's gonna have to play more. But it's up to Thibs. But if he wanted to turn him to a real player, he's got to play more. But tonight I don't think was the game to start developing him more. So
Right. No, I think you're right. I don't think we should have played him much this game, quite frankly. I don't understand why he gets in sometimes in garbage games when we're playing not great teams. Because I know the Hawks, even though they're the 11th seed in the East, they got some legit players. They got Cam Reddish, who showed out tonight. I know he didn't have a great game, but he still had 16 points, got to the line. He played decent in the fourth quarter. He missed some shots he probably could have made, but that three-pointer in the corner was pretty nasty, I'll say. If they had played better, like Kevin Huerter went 1 for 9 from 3, we're talking about a different game, but all the free throw calls they got were unbelievable. So I know John Collins, he didn't even take a shot in the fourth quarter. So Julius Randle played well on both sides of the ball, really locked up that team. If you want to talk about, though, Nerlens Noel, though. You seen those blocks he had? Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God, dude. That was so great, dude. Even though he's not scoring a really great amount of rebounds, he is putting all of his effort in the defensive end, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, 2 consecutive blocks on big plays. I think it was in the early fourth or late third quarter. That was that block on, what's that guy's name? This guy, I don't know. Have you ever heard of him? He's,
Who?
Skylar Mays.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, who is that guy? And I looked and he averaged 2 points. And all of a sudden I see him dropping 11 against us. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, he had 0 last game. And then the game before that, he shot 70, 80, 100 and had 20 points, 3 assists, and a rebound. So I don't know what's going on. I heard he's a rookie, but he's an older rookie. He's, I think, 24 years old. No, he's 23 years old. Out of LSU, he was a 50 overall pick in the draft. So I don't know if they're playing him at the 2-3 position. They're playing him as the backup to Trae Young. So I don't know if this kid's got some potential too. I don't know what's going on with the Hawks team, but he's suddenly coming into the league. I picked up Kevin Huerter on my fantasy team tonight. He shot 2 for 12, so maybe he'll be replacing Kevin Huerter as a starter at some point if he keeps it up. I don't know what the whole situation is with the Hawks team, but John Collins, I don't know what you think, but I think that man's getting traded soon. I heard some rumors. I heard that he might he might want to max in free agency, and I know the Hawks don't want to pay that. So I think there's definitely a possibility of him getting traded the trade deadline, or at least not re-signed in free agency. So I don't know what's going on with that.
Do you have any idea for any suitors for him?
That's a good question. I could definitely see, and this sounds crazy, but I could see the Pistons trying to throw a trade at him. I know they love their power forwards. I don't know what they'd give up. I know Sadiq Bey would probably be enticing to the Hawks. He was the player of the week. He shot 70-70-70 this week. That's right, 70% from the field, 70 from 3, and 70 from the line. So he's got a lot of potential, and if the Hawks want him, and they're trying to make a move, because I know they love their power forwards over there, like I said, so if they're trying to make a move, he could be like a main piece in a John Collins trade, and I know that the Pistons would most definitely give him a max. So I could see it happening, but I don't know what other suitors there are for him, quite frankly. I mean, that's not to say he's a bad player. I just don't know who wants him.
The one thing about John Collins is it seems like Julius Randle loves when he defends Randle.
Oh yes, I seen that. I don't know. Tonight I would say he had a decent shooting game, John Collins, but Randle just abused him. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, he did that the first game too. Even though he didn't score much, he bullied Collins, and he did the same exact thing today, but even more. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about Collins, honestly, because I seen him as a good player some games, and then other games he's just pathetic. This game on the defensive end, Randle was, honestly, I can't even say that John Collins played terrible defense, but Randle was unbelievable. I mean, this dude's shooting contested threes, contested fadeaway mid-ranges like he does every game, but this game he's putting them down. That's the difference, and a lot of games he won't do that. I see we got some more people coming in here. I'll invite all of you to speak if you want. I love hearing all these questions and opinions and stuff, because I've been live on YouTube, 23 episodes now of Knicks4Clicks. I'm live right now, but I've never gotten this many comments and attention and stuff like that. But this is great to hear from everyone.
Yeah, I did a watch party for the talking about the game the entire time, so I got off, and then I saw a notification that you started the podcast, so I joined it immediately.
Yes, sir. That's good to see, because I like watching the games. Zach Gershon here with the Knicks logo. Me and him watch the games together. We've been hosting the podcasts, and it's always good to do the post games, because I did some pre games, and I haven't done any watch parties. I was thinking about it, but it's always good to assess the Knicks' performance because 3 wins in a row is something to brag about. So it's nice to be.
If you ever want to join our watch parties, I do it whenever I'm not at work. You can just join on. I do it every game and whenever I don't work.
Definitely. No, that sounds good. I'll definitely join up because I know this app is on the come up right now. I know no one's talking about it. I've heard some people talking about it on Twitter, but this is great. The interactive feature. What's up? How you doing?
What's up, Jack?
What's up? So I was thinking, how you feeling about the Knicks 3-game win streak? How you feeling?
The Knicks 3-game winning streak, it's pretty nice seeing that. They're not bad. This is one of the best seasons they had in a while. They're looking pretty good. You think they'll make the playoffs?
I think there's a good chance. I don't know. I feel more comfortable saying that we're going to make the play-in tournament. I wouldn't say for sure that we're going to make the playoffs. I don't want to be cocky about it. But, we've had a really good stretch. D-Rose has proven to be a great leader. I'm loving it.
D-Rose, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's been phenomenal. So,
as long as they keep playing well, this Eastern Conference is weak. As long as they keep playing well, they could probably avoid the play-in altogether.
Knicks playoffs, baby, easy.
Oh, yeah. I think there's a good chance. As long as we get anything, I would say 7 through 10 seed is the play-in tournament, right? If we get the 6th seed and we hold it down, that's going to be phenomenal. Because who do we got to play in the first round? I know nothing's guaranteed right now. But right now, technically, we would have to play the Nets in the first round. That would be fun to watch.
It would.
In the playoffs, we'd have to be playing.
And if they make a trade for another good player, it'll be even more fun to watch.
I know. I heard Andre Drummond potentially to the Nets. I know there's some rumors about him to the Raptors potentially. But, of course, he's been benched, Andre Drummond, until at least March 25th when the trade deadline is. Apparently, Jared Allen has really just overtaken this Cavs team, and now he's not even playing. So I could see the Nets potentially doing a sign and trade or something. I don't know. They'll figure it out. Let's see. I'm looking at my YouTube channel right now. What's the app? This is Locker Room. You gotta install it on the App Store, or I'm not sure if it's on Google Play, but you gotta install it on the App Store and make a login, join up. One thing I also want to talk about, Clint Capella. This dude's been a silent killer. He had 15 and 18 tonight. Did you even know? I didn't even know he had 18 rebounds. I had no idea. He just grabs them like it's nothing. He's got some sort of heat-sinking thing that's going on, too. Like
Is he leading rebounds?
What's going on? Say it again.
He's leading the league in rebounds, right?
Oh, that's right. You know what? You're right. I heard that in the game. I'm not sure who said. I think it was Clyde or Mike. I don't know. But they said he's leading he's leading the league in rebounds. And I didn't even know that. I thought Drummond was leading. Yeah, Capella. He's had a few injuries.
I'll check the stat real quick.
Yeah, he's had some seasons. I know last year he missed a ton of games with that Achilles injury, that nagging one. And he hasn't been super healthy with Houston. Or when he was with Houston. And this season he's been healthy. He grabbed 18 boards tonight. 6 offensive ones, too. One rebound I will say, though. It was such a bad brick that it came right into his hand right around the 3-point line. So, not all the rebounds are skill.
What do you think about Obi Toppin?
Obi Toppin. There's a lot to say about Obi Toppin. I've heard some people say that he's a bust so far, which I think is ridiculous. I think he's got a lot of potential. I would say that we need to play him more minutes to tell whether or not he has that thing with him. But he shot 1 for 1 from 3 tonight, and he had to force that other shot. So if you want to talk about, if you want to consider the circumstances that he shot tonight, I'd say that he played well tonight, and he's got a lot of potential. His defense needs to get better, though. I think that's something everyone
my friend thinks Obi's bad, and I think he has potential.
Yeah. Well, I think your friend, I understand where he's coming from, too, because 11 to 15 minutes a game, that's not a lot of time to prove yourself. Tonight he was out there for a 5-minute stretch. He didn't get the ball. He didn't get a shot. And he just gets taken out again. So it's not something you can judge off of if he's not getting integrated into the offense. But if he was on another team, I think, quite frankly, for the Knicks right now, if they want to capitalize on a serious trade, because I know Leon Rose, he's about that rebuilding mentality. But if someone like Zach LaVine becomes available, somehow, some way, if he becomes available, I see a world in which Obi Toppin is in a package for him. And I'm not saying that as a joke. I think that the Bulls, although they got so many power forwards already, I think Obi could be a great addition to their team. And I think we'd have to give up a lot for him, but if you had that chance, I would trade Obi, even though he's got potential.
I mean, what would the Bulls realistically do with Obi since, they have Larry Markkinen already?
Well, here's the thing. I understand that. I looked through their roster. They got Wendell Carter. They got Patrick Williams. They got Larry Markkinen. But...
Wait, sorry. It's Laurie? I heard Clyde say it was Larry Markkinen. I don't know which one it is.
Either of you could be right.
Laurie?
I don't even care. It's one of the two. But I know they got Markkinen on that team. They got Patrick Williams, right? They got all those players. But Obi, at some point in his career, and I'm confident in saying this, he will be considered a small forward. He's a 6'9" guy. He's not that strong. He's kind of slim. And he can shoot the ball, regardless whether or not he's had a great shooting season. In college, he shot the ball well. I think it was right around 35-ish%. I could definitely see him transitioning in a few seasons into a serious three-point threat. So I could see him moving to the small forward position if his defense gets better. And he's quite the athletic player, so I feel like he can guard 1 through 5 if he just develops that. There's a lot of potential there, even though he's 22. So I think that the Knicks, they'd have to go quite a package for Zach LaVine, though. Let's be real. He's still got a year or so left on his deal. He's on a cheap deal. You'd probably have to throw RJ in, as much as you don't want to. You'd probably have to throw RJ in. And then that second piece, I don't think it would just take a pick. I think it would take Obi Toppin. I'm not saying I would or wouldn't do it. It depends whether or not they make Zach LaVine available. And, sometimes when they make players like that available, they'll go and they'll request places they want to be. So if Zach LaVine says, I want to be a Knick, that's what you give up for him. But if he doesn't want to be a Knick, I wouldn't do it.
But, Jack, the thing is with LaVine, if you have to give up RJ for it, do you think LaVine has, what it takes to take the team to the next level?
I think that LaVine has more of that than RJ, if you know what I'm talking about. I think LaVine, he's been a more consistent player throughout his career. He's proven himself. He was snubbed for the All-Star game last year. It looking like this year he's going to be an All-Star, averaging 28 points per game for Chicago. I think he's definitely got that factor that can push us over the hump. And we'll still have guys like Quickly. We'll still have guys like Knox, who I know the Knicks just made available, but we still got them. We got D-Rose on the team now. Alec Burks is sticking around. We got some youth. We got some good vets. And Mitch when he comes back from injury. So, we'd have a starting five that looks something like, and if Elfrid Payton continues to start, which I don't like, but if Elfrid Payton continues to start, we got Payton, LaVine, Mitch, Randle, potentially Bullock. RJ is gone, so yeah, Bullock would sit there. I could definitely see that being a legitimate playoff team starting five. I think he's better than RJ. Although RJ has potential, you'd have to give up someone like RJ. And I got one question in my YouTube chat. Where do you see Drummond going, in my opinion? It's one of two spots. It's either the Nets or the Raptors, I'm thinking. And if you guys got anything to say about that, I'd love to hear it. It's no guarantee thing, but I see him in those teams.
I have a lot to say about Drummond. I don't even think he's that good of a player.
Okay, I see that.
He rebounds well. That's what he's known for. But at the same time, does his offense have any impact? This is the same guy that shoots 43% on layups, and he takes about 16 shots a game at low efficiency.
No, I see that. I've seen his efficiency. He's the guy on my fantasy team that puts up unreal numbers. But does the Cavs record reflect that? Not exactly. So you obviously see them 10-18 sitting there. There's a reason they're benching Drummond. He's not an effective player. He's a stat player. He's like Westbrook. Westbrook put up an empty triple-double tonight. I know they won, but they won against a team that didn't have Christian Wood, that didn't have Victor Oladipo, that only had John Wall in their starting lineup pretty much. Eric Gordon didn't even play. So does that win really count for much if Westbrook puts up 16, 15, and 14, whatever he put up? Not really. Just like with Drummond, when he puts up 20 and 20, it's still always a close game. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. But on the flip side, I also see the Raptors, and they have Aaron Baines for a center right now. I would say personally that if they had a chance or if they had a choice between keeping Aaron Baines or trading him and someone else for Drummond, I say they trade for Drummond. So I see that situation. But I agree with you. He's not really an impact player all the time. He doesn't shoot super efficiently. But I see him as a rebounding threat, and that's something that those two teams need. So that's why I see him there.
The thing is with the Raptors, I don't think that... Yeah, I do agree that they probably should get Drummond, but I don't think they should get it at the cost of someone like Chris Boucher.
Okay. No, I see that. So if we're the Raptors in this situation, I don't see them giving up much for him. Drummond, he's got a 1-year deal, I think. Maybe 2, I'm not sure. He's on a 1-year deal, I think. And if you have to give up someone like, Aaron Baines for him and you have to give up a future pick, I don't know. Do you do it? It's a question that you ask Masai. Wait, is Masai Ujiri even the GM of the Raptors anymore? I heard he wasn't.
Masai
Ujiri. Was he? Is he still?
I think he still is. I think he's for 1 more year, I think.
Okay, so I don't know what the situation is with their management. I'm only a Knick fan here. I don't know, but what I will say is that if they did make a trade for him, I would understand it. I've heard just some rumors about it already, and that they were in active trade talks. Nothing done yet, but just active trade talks. And so if it does happen, I'm not surprised, but I don't think they would give up Chris Boucher or anyone legit. I don't even think they're going to give up Kyle Lowry. I don't think that would work if it's the Cavs either, because they already got a plethora of point guards with Colin Sexton, Darius Garland. It doesn't make sense. So I could definitely see them keeping on to those young guys, but it would probably have to cost them a pick. I mean, it's Andre Drummond at the end of the day, and it's not going to be an Aaron Baines 1-for-1, so... I see in my YouTube chat again, Westbrook is a modern-day Blake Griffin. Just makes his team that much stranger. That's a good question. Or a good comment, that is that Westbrook and Blake Griffin have a lot of similarities when it came to Blake having an impact on the game. I remember there was a game versus the Sixers, and I know the Sixers were legit, but I know that at the end of the day, the Pistons won that game. But Blake Griffin, he put up 50 points that game. And they only won by, I think, a buzzer beater on his dunk or something like that. And it just shows that those first 50 points, until the very end, didn't really count for anything until he made that final play, which is what Westbrook kind of does nowadays. I said they got to get Lowry out of there for at least a first and bench, or in a bench player or something. His trade value has tanked since 2019, and he just isn't what he was. No, that's true. I think Kyle Lowry is still a serviceable point guard in the NBA, although he is aging. There's a lot to be said about him in the way that, the team hasn't really shown much this year, and that's a lot of his fault. You guys got anything to say about Kyle Lowry? I don't really have much to say about him. I don't watch his game that much, but I know that he's kind of a good defensive point guard sometimes. That's what I've heard.
Lowry, I really don't have much to say, but he's getting there in age, and he could leave in free agency. But the thing is, I have no idea where.
Yeah, I just think as a respect factor almost, and I know most people won't say this, but Lowry is one of the best Raptors of all time. They don't have a very long history.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I know he's got, the first championship in team history under his belt there. He was pretty much the second or third guy, if you want to consider him better than Pascal at that point. I would say he was. And he's led them to consistent records every year, whether that means playoff success or not. So I'd say that you could probably get pretty good value for him, even though his value has dropped a little bit. I'd say you could probably get like 2 or 3, maybe 2 second-round picks at the most, maybe a first-round pick from a contending team if you're lucky. It just depends on how the salaries work out. But I'm no NBA analyst. I can't predict all these trades. Although what I will say is I put out a video on YouTube. I predicted that Derrick Rose trade. I know a lot of people were talking about it, but I knew it was going to be somewhere around Dennis Smith Jr. in a second-round pick. I had it on my YouTube channel. So I'd say I've been accurate. I'm 1-for-1 on the trades. So I could see Lowry getting traded for a mid to late first round pick or 2 seconds.
The thing is with Lowry, if you're willing to trade it, I think it only makes sense to give up a late first round pick if you're a contending team in in desperate need of a point guard. Mm-hmm. And what type of teams out there are desperately needed for a point guard to bring in the next level to Clippers? Maybe bring some championship? I
was going to say Clippers? I can say the Clippers. I know even in the offseason there was Lowry rumors. Now I know his value has dropped since then, but if they can get a late first round pick, regardless whether they have any or not, they gave up 1 for Marcus Morris. They gave up 5 for Paul George. I don't know what they have left at this point. But if they have a first round pick left, they have 2 second round picks, and they have youth. They have what's his name? I'm blanking on his name right now. They got a young player. I have to look him up. But if they get
Terrence Mann or something like that?
Terrence Mann, you're right. That's exactly what they have. I could see a Terrence Mann late first round pick trade for Lowry. I think that would be perfect for the Raptors. They love developing that young talent. They developed Pascal into what he is. So I could see Terrence Mann becoming a legitimate NBA starter if the Raptors are the ones developing him.
Well, I don't think the Clippers can trade another first round pick for the amount of picks they've traded, but I'm not too sure about that.
Oh, gotcha. I can't say I know. I just know they gave up so many picks. And I know there's that 2-year rule that you're probably talking about with trading picks in between years. I just don't know how many they have left. But it may take, if they can trade seconds, they may have to trade 2 seconds. And especially if Lowry, and I don't think he would want out of Toronto, but I have heard, and I know it doesn't mean everything, but I heard that he listed his Toronto mansion for sale. Now, when Kawhi Leonard went and bought an LA house, we pretty much knew that he was going to go to LA. So I think it could go both ways in the fact that you could just trade for Kyle Lowry because he might know that he's on his way out or, whatnot. I just don't really know what to say about him.
The funny thing is he couldn't even enter his own house because of the Canada rule because of COVID.
Oh, that's right. That's right. With now he's living. Is he living in Tampa now? Because I know they're the Tampa Bay Raptors technically.
Yeah, I mean he probably has like a temporary home there, but like I don't know for sure.
Okay, I don't know. I have no idea. Because I really don't keep up much with the Raptors. I actually had them last year. You can call me crazy, but I thought they were legit. I had them maybe going to the NBA Finals. I didn't have them winning it. I had them going there. And I think it's primarily because of their playoff. They have a great coach. Nick Nurse, phenomenal coach. He won Coach of the Year. Was it last year or 2 years ago? I think it was last year. And he deserved it, rightfully so, because if you lead a team of Pascal Siakam and Kyle Lowry, well, they also had at that point Serge Ibaka and all them, but if you lead that to the NBA Finals, you deserve, well, with Kawhi, but if you lead that to the playoffs and a good seed, you deserve Coach of the Year. So that's really all I know about the Raptors. I don't know much outside of that. But I know teams will be interested in Kyle Lowry. But if we want to talk about the Knicks, I don't think the Knicks should show any interest in Kyle Lowry. Because I've talked about that on my podcast. I don't think they should.
I feel like they still should try to improve on point guard, but again, there's not a lot of options out there.
Yeah.
So we might have to stick with Payton for the rest of the year.
Yeah. I have said, I know Payton has a no-trade clause, which I didn't know until, honestly, 3 or 4 weeks ago. But I guess it's some sort of rule in his contract, considering it's his second year with the team. He has a no-trade clause. It's a 1-year deal. And I will say, we do have the ability to cut him from the team. Now, is it worth it to cut him from the team? Or is it worth it to maybe make up a trade for him? I saw one playoff team is interested in him. I could definitely see them putting a trade out to him and him waiving his no-trade clause depending on what team we are offering. Like, if we're trying to get a first-round pick out of, like, I'd say, what team? You got any teams that you think Payton would suit? I don't think he suits any team, but I guess one playoff team is interested. Trying to think here.
I'll think.
I see.
I'm gonna look at the teams real quick.
Maybe OKC. I don't know.
Maybe.
OKC?
That's tough. I don't think they would give up picks for him.
Nah,
Not close. Maybe they'd have to give up a youth for him. You're right. In my dreams, I would love for it to happen. I'm not saying it would, though. I don't think he's good at all.
Are we considering just playoff teams or like every team?
You can honestly consider any team that maybe want him. I don't know. I can come up with a trade if you give me a
Dallas,
team.
maybe?
Dallas. That would be tough. I don't know. So I feel like Dallas would want shooting, and Peyton is the opposite of that. So it really depends.
Maybe a playmaker off the bench or something like that? Like
could be. Depends. Like Dallas, who do they even have? I mean, something the Knicks would most definitely be interested in if they're going to trade Peyton in the coming, I'd say, few days, maybe a week. I'd say we could be interested in Willie Cauley-Stein. That's someone I talked about on my podcast. Willie Cauley-Stein is a guy who comes in and gives you the rebounds. He doesn't give you much production point-wise, but he's just like Mitch and Noel, and that he comes out there, he blocks shots, plays defense. That's all you can ask for. And I could most definitely see him being a trade candidate if it means that they want a playmaker off the bench. But other than that, I really don't have any other trade because Peyton is just not a guy. I think Peyton deserves to just be cut from the roster at this point. We got DeRozan, we got Quickly. I think it's easy to just sign a point guard in free agency other than Peyton, and we could still be just fine. Because, I mean, regardless of his talent, we do at the end of the day have Austin Rivers, Theo Pinson. I know Theo Pinson wouldn't play much, but Austin Rivers, he can run the point guard as long as he's passing the ball. I know that was kind of the reason he got benched, is he just wouldn't pass the ball. He was more of just an offensive, like, isolator guy. And also, if you want to get rid of Peyton that badly, which I don't think we should, you could also package Knox with him, be more enticing for teams. So I think that's definitely a possibility. If y'all got anything else you want to mention, I'm totally down to talk Knicks. Because Taj Gibson, I talked on my podcast a little bit about Julius Randle maybe playing some center. I don't know what y'all think about that, but Taj Gibson, 17 minutes tonight. He went to the free throw line. That was about it. He got 4 personal fouls on him, so that's something that's got to be a little bit better. He said this has got to be some type of crime. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't reading these comments. My bad.
Yeah, usually nobody pays attention to those comments.
Yeah, that's my bad. Anyway, yeah, I was kind of everywhere. I know we're talking about the Raptors, Drummond, all that sort of stuff. And I know we're kind of just trying to talk about the Knicks here, and I'm just jumping all over the place. But there's a lot to talk about in the NBA world right now. I should be naming this Knicks, or not even Knicks. I should be naming this NBA postgame show at this point. I didn't even watch all the games tonight, but talking about a lot of stuff.
Jack, I have a question.
Yep, what's up?
Do you think we have a wing issue, a lack of wing depth?
I'd say we're honestly good with the wing depth. I think, quite frankly, as we're not a great offensive team. I know the last few games we've been playing just fine. 123 tonight. I think it was 121 yesterday. But I know we average 102 a game, which is good. But up to NBA standards, it's a little bit lower than average. And I'd say that our wing depth is fine right now. We got Alec Burks, who's been a good guy. Reggie Bullock's been good for us the last year. I don't know. We don't really have too much. But then again, a lot of NBA teams, they're not willing to give up wing depth like that. So
let me rephrase what I said. I meant to say is, do you think we need to improve on it, because Bullock is our best wing player? I think we need a better player than him.
No, I think you're right. I think we do need a better player than him. But that's the problem with the Knicks right now, is that this takes time. I'm hoping that if that Dallas pick, hopefully the Mavs don't make the play-in tournament. Hopefully they fall out. We get a lottery pick from them. And maybe even if ours is a late first-round pick, mid-first-round pick, we can package that for a higher pick and try and draft a good wing player. I know right now we don't really have many, but we have to work with what we have. And Reggie Bullock played 22 minutes tonight, so his effect wasn't crazy. Alec Burks is honestly just a better player than Reggie Bullock defensively and, in my opinion, offensively. I think he's more of a threat, in my opinion. But him coming off the bench just helps that bench unit, because we got Derrick Rose, Emmanuel quickly coming off the bench. Taj Gibson's now coming off the bench. So I could definitely see Alec Burks at some point potentially moving to the starting lineup and Reggie being that guy off the bench. But I don't think we make any trades right now for better wings. I don't know, unless there are better wings for sale or that are being offered. I don't really see us making any improvements on the wings this season. Maybe next season, but not this season.
What are your thoughts on a potential Oladipo trade?
I've heard a lot about Oladipo trades, and I'm not into it. I feel like the price for Oladipo is just going to be too high. I know they did a Karis LeVert Oladipo 1-for-1 type of deal. Actually, the Pacers even had to give up a second-round pick, I think, to get Karis LeVert. So honestly, for them, it was quite the I don't know who gave up a second-round pick, but I know that the value for Karis or for Oladipo is just too high, in my opinion. I don't think the Knicks need him. We got R.J. Barrett, and quite frankly, when R.J. Barrett is guarded by Victor Oladipo, he just abuses him. So I'd like to keep him off of our team and guard R.J. Barrett more. That's what I want to see.
Are you sure about that value thing? Because Stephen Bonnie said that he thinks that Oladipo would have less value than Levine or Beal.
Really?
And it wouldn't cost that much.
No, I could definitely see that.
Oladipo's on an expiring deal, so that's why Bonnie thinks that his price would be a little lower than Levine.
I think you got a good point there with his price, but I think it's still going to cost something. And I'm not sure if it would be costing a pick or a young player and whatnot. If you have to give up Kevin Knox and Austin Rivers in a second for him, you do it. But if you have to give up one of the young core like Obi Toppin, which I could also see happening because Zach LaVine and Bradley Beal, all those guys, they got really high trade value. So when you say that he has less trade value than them, it's a really general statement because it could still be relatively high. With Zach LaVine being on that 2-year deal, that's pretty valuable in itself because he is such a young player. He's growing still. And Oladipo has kind of passed his prime at this point. His prime was that those Indiana Pacers days pre-injury. And at this point, he hasn't fallen off. He's still a great player. He's kind of more of becoming a shell of what he was. And I'm not saying that because he's played bad. He's playing fine. But if we're going to get him this year, that's pretty much the only year we're going to have him, or at least the best version of him. So I would not trade for him. I think it would just kind of hurt our bench. Like, it would hurt Emmanuel Quickly's playing time. And right now I'm more into just developing that, sticking with what's working. That's my statement on Oladipo. I don't think he's a bad player by any means. I just don't think he fits.
All right, fair enough.
I think that there is definitely minor trades that this Knicks team could make. I could see us trading for more wing depth, like you said. I just don't know who's out there. That's why I'm not saying anything right now. But I think there's definitely a chance because Kevin Knox is now in the trade market. Via Twitter earlier is what I heard about. That doesn't mean necessarily that he will be traded this season because we still have another season to trade him and all that sort of stuff. But I think he's going to be on the move soon, and I think that could be for a better wing. Who knows? You could package Reggie and Knox, and you could get someone from a team that isn't contending. Because I don't see any contending teams wanting Kevin Knox right now. So we'd have to trade for more of a disgruntled wing player on some team. Now, I know this has only been a 36 and a half minute podcast here, but I am a high school student, and I've got school tomorrow. So I'm trying to get off a little early. But I really appreciate y'all being here, seriously. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love talking about the Knicks whenever I get a chance.
Of course.
Thanks for that.
And one thing I will say before this ends, you know what's funny? My winter break just ended, actually. So President's Day today, got school off, luckily enough, and then right back tomorrow. So first day back tomorrow.
I'm in college, and I don't have any breaks this semester at all.
That's unfortunate. I'll probably be in the same situation you're in about 2 years. So I'm chilling as a junior in high school. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. So, but I think I don't have breaks this year just because of COVID. They don't want people traveling too much.
Okay, I got you. Anyway, I will advertise because there's 5 other people in the room right now. Anyway. I have a Knicks4Clicks on YouTube. I stream on there, and this is my first time on Locker Room. Because I've been in chat rooms before. I just haven't actually started one of these, and it's really good. It's interactive. I like hearing what you guys got to say.
If you want to join Stefan Bondi's Locker Room calls, it's every Monday at 3, so you can just join him, and you can ask him questions and stuff. Most
definitely, yeah. I'll be there probably next week. I just got to mark my calendar down and make sure I remember it, and I'll be there.
All right, that's cool.
All right, I appreciate y'all being here. And,
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, take care, man. Take care, all of you. Have a blessed day.
You too, man.
Thanks, Jack.
Peace. Ooh. All right, guys. If anyone's still here, really appreciate that. I know this was different today. We're doing Locker Room. Totally different sort of stream. I'll be tuning into the Stefan Bondi Locker Rooms at 3 p.m. on Monday if you guys want to see me in there. You're probably more there to see Stefan Bondi, but I'll be there now. Anyway, unbelievable game from the Knicks tonight. I do have to head off a little bit earlier. I wish I could stay longer. I got school tomorrow, and this post game would have went much longer if the referees didn't make those bad calls tonight. But it was a lot of fun going on Locker Room. We're going to be on there a lot more. Episode 23, Randle 44 bombs, 7 threes. Unbelievable tonight. But what I will say, now we're the 6th seed spot. We're right out of the play-in tournament. Not sure we'll stay there. We could, fluctuate throughout the year. But right now, we're in a great position. The Knicks keep this up. We're going to be a legitimate playoff team this year. All right. Anyway, if y'all are here, I appreciate you. I'm going to head off now. And drop a like, subscribe. I'm live after every Knicks game, unless it's like a 10 p.m. game. Then there's no chance. I'll usually do pre-games those days. But I hope y'all have a blessed night. I know I have with this Knicks win, 3 wins in a row.